evening, Clarion. Thanks for joining us tonight on CUTV News for Monday, April 15th, 2013. I'm Bryn Bookner.
And I'm Priya Royster. Tonight we have details surrounding the explosion at the Boston Marathon.
Plus, a Clarion student has been charged with indecent assault. But first, here's Lauren Healy with a look at your weather preview.
Clarion, is this mild weather here to stay? Is Clarion in for a rainy future? And can we expect a huge temperature fall this weekend? I'll answer all of these questions and more in my full Weather Center forecast. But for now, let's send it back to Bryn and Priya in the studio.
2 bomb explosions rocked the finish line at the Boston Marathon today. According to reports from the Boston Police Department, at least 90 people were injured and 2 killed in the explosion. Injuries were reported as serious as dismemberments, third-degree burns, and compound fractures. The blast happened a few seconds apart in downtown Boston's Copley Square about an hour after the first runners had crossed the finish line. Police cleared everyone from the finish line and blocked off the area. Paramedics treated multiple victims at the scene. Many were taken to Massachusetts General and Tufts University Medical Center. Another explosion took place at the JFK Library south of the marathon finish line. Federal and local authorities are treating the case as a bombing. The FAA has restricted the airspace over Copley Square, and President Obama has issued an order to direct all federal assistance to Boston for the immediate time. According to the Boston Globe, police also found 3 secondary explosives and have disposed of them in controlled explosions. Authorities are unsure of the cause at this time, and the investigation is still ongoing.
Franklin State Police released details on a sobriety checkpoint conducted recently in April in Venango County. The detail resulted in 2 DUI arrests, 2 summary traffic violation arrests, and 10 written warnings for minor summary traffic infractions. No further details were released.
Venango County is using their extensive oil and gas history to provide a boost to their economy. Bill Callahan of the State Bureau for Historic Preservation will be using Venango County's oil and gas legacy as the theme for his presentation this Thursday. Callahan's presentation will take place at the DeBentz Museum in Franklin and will begin at 7 p.m. The program is entitled The Importance of Historic Preservation and Its Economic Impact, and it will discuss economic incentives and how to use history as an economic development tool. John Phillips, the Oil Region Alliance's Heritage Development President, spoke out about embracing the county's important history, saying, quote, "You may not like oil and gas, you may not like what we are known for or what developed here, but it's a part of our history. So we can either embrace it or ignore it, and we've chosen to embrace it."
According to Clarion-based State Police, a hit-and-run accident occurred on State Route 322 east of Dave's Storage Lane. The accident occurred on April 12th around 1 a.m. Police say the unknown vehicle was traveling west, traveled across the road and into the parking lot sign of the Dugout Ice Cream Shop. The operator then struck the yellow and black vinyl sign and fled the scene.
State police in Marionville have arrested a woman on drug-related charges. Reports say that Mary Ann Schill arrived for her shift as a guard at State Correctional Institute Forest, where she found to be in possession of a small bag of marijuana. Authorities are unsure if Schill planned to distribute the drugs to inmates or not.
A theft occurred at a residence along State Route 338 in Beaver Township. According to police, 18-year-old Nathaniel Dowdery of Cranberry allegedly removed an Xbox game system belonging to a Knox woman and sold it for money. He is set to be charged through district court.
A student was charged with indecent assault last week near Wilkinson Hall. Kelsey Gestritz was able to speak to students about their reactions.
University student was charged with indecent assault last Tuesday afternoon near Wilkinson Hall. Just 1 hour after the first report was filed, the suspect was taken into custody by University police. But what do students have to say about this incident?
I was a little alarmed when I received 2 text messages saying that there was an assault of some sort outside of my building that I live in. So I was a little bit worried for me and my friends. But when we found out what the actual story was, we weren't as worried as we initially thought that we were going to be.
I was scared to go anywhere alone on campus. I was actually really surprised that it happened somewhere in Clarion's campus, because you hear about it in bigger cities, but never really in a small town school like Clarion.
Well, when I got the emails, I was kind of concerned of where it was, and then to know it was just right here at Wilkinson, it made me really feel uncomfortable. And somebody on my floor, I lived on the same floor, it's just surprising how somebody like that could just commit something so horrible.
The student charged with assault has been removed from Clarion campus housing. Clarion campus police was unable to comment on the current status of this investigation. The students at Wilkinson Hall had varied reactions to the assault charges. Now that the charges are under investigation, the students are feeling more at ease. Reporting for CUTV News, I'm Kelsey Gestrich.
April is Stress Awareness Month. Why should you care? Because stress is a major factor in such conditions as heart problems, diabetes, even infertility. So how do you know when you are under stress and what can you do? Here's Holly Farther with some answers in today's Health Minute.
Let's face it, unless you live in a cave, you can't avoid stress. It's everywhere. But sometimes major stressful events, such as the death of a loved one or the loss of a job, can mount up and begin to affect your health. How can you tell if you are really stressed out? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, these signs could mean you need to step back and deal with your stress. If you're tense, irritable, and it affects your day-to-day interactions with people. If you have fear or anxiety about the future. If you have difficulty making decisions. You have frequent nightmares or sleeplessness, or you feel powerless. Doctors will tell you there are things you can do to cut down on your stress. Try to avoid drugs and alcohol. They make you feel good at the time, but they can be a dangerous crutch. Find support. Talk to a friend, a counselor, clergy person, even a doctor, because sharing a problem lightens the load. Get out and be with friends. Having fun and laughing can really de-stress a person. And be good to yourself. That means exercise. Try to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Eat healthy. And always keep your mind active. It will make you feel a whole lot better. For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Farther.
Up next is your full Weather Center forecast with Lauren Healy.
Plus, a shooting in East Pittsburgh leaves a man dead.
Stay tuned, you're watching CUTV News.
Looking for a good time, it's gotta be Wasteland Live.
Good evening, Clarion. I'm Lauren Healy bringing you your Monday night weather forecast. So let's start things off by taking a look at our almanac here. Today's normals, we had a high of 62 degrees and a low of 47. Our actuals were a little bit warmer at that, at 68 degrees as our high and 52 degrees as our low. Records were 89 degrees and a low of 27. The sun rose this morning at 6:38 a.m. and is expected to set just about at 8 o'clock p.m. this evening, 7:58 as the actual time. Our current conditions right now, we're looking at 60 degrees, beautiful mild day today, mostly cloudy skies, winds are coming out of the south-southeast at 16 miles per hour, and there's about a 20% chance of rain right now, so we probably won't be seeing any of that. Current conditions around Pennsylvania, right here in Clarion, we're sitting at 60 degrees, up in Erie 61, down in the Berg, we got 65 degrees over here, State College 63, down in Johnstown 61, and then over here in Harrisburg 62 degrees. And as we take a look at our overnight, we're going to be seeing 52 degrees, Partly cloudy skies. Winds are coming out of the south-southeast at 16 miles per hour. And again, there's about a 20% chance of rain, so more than likely we probably won't be seeing any rain for this overnight. And tomorrow, however, that's going to change. 69 degrees as our high. Scattered thunderstorms are expected throughout the day, so be aware of that. Winds are coming out of the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour, and there's about a 60% chance that we'll be seeing rain throughout the day tomorrow, so be aware of that as well. Tomorrow's highs across the USA, 51 in Omaha, up in here at Rapid City, 27 degrees, down in Dallas, 89, Denver, 42, up in Seattle, 59, Los Angeles, 83 degrees, and down in Phoenix, 81 degrees. For our 8-day outlook, like I said, tomorrow, 69 degrees is our high, thunderstorms throughout the day. Wednesday, we're going to be seeing mostly cloudy skies, as well as Thursday. Thursday, we're going to be seeing a high of 79 degrees, so really a warm day for Thursday. And then Thursday to Friday, we're going to be seeing a 10 degrees temperature drop, so be aware of that. Saturday, again, 20 degrees temperature drop from Friday to Saturday, so it's only getting cooler. However, Sunday, things start to heat back up, 54 degrees as the high with sunny skies. Monday and Tuesday, back up to where it's been recently, 60 degrees and 59 degrees.
You know, Lauren, obviously one of my favorite things about the transition from winter to spring is the nicer temperatures, but also the sunset time. I mean, look at 7:58. Look at that.
It's so nice. Just having that extra daylight time to go do it makes you want to go, you know, go for a run or go and walk to the library instead of just being cooped up inside all day.
I love it. It just makes the day feel like so much longer than just your regular.
Absolutely.
When it gets dark out, I'm kind of like,
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Legionella bacteria is discovered in a local apartment complex.
Plus, a shooting in East Person leaves one man dead.
As we go to break, here's a look at today's stocks.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Can't find your one-of-a-kind ingredient? Looking to challenge your appetite with exotic flavor? Your search ends at 6th and Main's unique array of groceries and ingredients. Specializing in the not-so-widely available, 6th and Main is Clarion's supplier of the striking tastes that shape a stylish palate. With their varied styles and unmatched selection, 6th and Main has got the taste you have only dreamt about. Let your taste run wild at 6th and Main.
I got no pulse, we're losing him.
Charging. He's in V-Fit.
Shock him. Drives it around all the time. Just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear. You just buzzed. Just buzzed? You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right, this isn't happening. He'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really? No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shock him.
Legionella bacteria was discovered in the water system of a senior citizen apartment building in Lawrenceville on Saturday, according to the Allegheny County Health Department. The discovery came after one female resident, who has not been identified at this time, was treated for pneumonia. The health department tested the water at the apartment, which revealed low levels of the bacteria. Legionella bacteria can lead to the potentially fatal Legionnaires' disease. Crews disinfected water lines, faucets, and shower heads by pouring hot water on them to prevent anyone else from getting sick. Health Department Acting Director Ronald Voorhees said that it is certainly possible the woman contracted the bacteria from her apartment. Although tests have yet to confirm this, the woman is recovering in her home.
The Wabash Tunnel closed Monday morning at 6 a.m. The closing allows Port Authority contractors to begin the construction of new traffic control gates. The construction will restore inbound access to the tunnel, which has been closed since last fall, and after a tractor-trailer accident damaged the old gates. 2 accidents and delays in getting air placement parts since then have slowed repair efforts. Installation of the gates is set to be done by the end of May and will bring back all traffic access.
A business in Hubbard, Ohio was recently cited for 11 federal workplace safety violations by the Occupation Safety and Health Administration. The organization says that ball aerosol and specialty containers expose workers to dangerous and unsafe conditions since the last inspection in 2009. The violations include a lack of guards on cutting machines, lack of fire extinguishers training for staff, and multiple other violations. The company has been placed on OSHA's severe violators list and will be closely monitored for the next year.
A shooting occurred on the 600 block of Linden Avenue at an apartment complex in East Pittsburgh on Saturday morning. The victim was identified as 39-year-old DeArto Rankin of Verona. He suffered a single gunshot wound and was pronounced dead around 10 a.m. at UPMC Mercy Hospital. Police began a search for the victim's brother, 36-year-old Andre Rankin, who fled the scene after the shooting. Andre Rankin was arrested early Saturday afternoon and expressed guilt over murdering his brother. Rankin is charged with criminal homicide and remains in Allegheny County Jail.
A complete evacuation of the mall at Robinson occurred after a bomb threat was announced Sunday afternoon. The Robinson Township Police declared the threat a hoax, and the mall was deemed safe at 5:30 p.m. on Sunday. The mall was reopened this morning as usual. A Sears employee found a note inside a dressing room at 1:30 that said 3 bombs were planted inside the mall. Everyone evacuated as Robinson Township Police, Allegheny County Sheriff's deputies, Pittsburgh Police, 9 K-9s, and firefighters searched the building for hours. Police are reviewing Sears surveillance footage to find out who wrote the note. All right, and we now have Ian Hunter joining us here with the Sports Report. And Ian, I heard some good news about Adam Scott and the Masters.
A very historic day at Augusta National Park in Georgia for the Masters tournament this past year. Fantastic tournament played by many of the competitors. We also have stories about Clarion's baseball team and softball team, including the amazing Amanda Golf, who continues to stroke a mighty bat in softball. But we'll have all that and more coming up next in your Sports Report.
After the break is your Sports Report with Ian Hunter.
Plus more of today's top stories.
Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on CUTV. Don't go away.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people, and you're better than that.
At Sheetz, your favorite meal on the go is just a touch away. The MTO, or made-to-order menu, is the perfect way to quickly get food that will satisfy any craving. Don't worry about trying to decide which fast food restaurant will satisfy your taste. Sheetz' wide variety of choices and simple ordering system makes the decision easy. For those especially hectic days when time is at a premium, Sheetz also offers the MTO to-go case with quick grabs. Sheetz is conveniently located at 1281 East Main Street in Clarion.
Give up on sex, don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Good evening, Clarion. I'm Ian Hunter with your Monday Night Sports Report. A season of struggles continue for the Clarion baseball team. Golden Eagles lost all 6 of their games last week to fall to 1-27 on the season. Last week started with 2 losses to Point Park on Tuesday by the scores of 14-2 and 6-0. The weekend brought more struggles for the young baseball team as they traveled to Indiana to face off against PSAC rival IUP. The Golden Eagles lost all 4 of their games against the Crimson Hawks by double digits, 12-2. 2 games finished at 10-0 and finally 14-1. The team's batting average stands at only .206, while the pitching staff's ERA is at a staggering 11.33. They hope to rebound in a rematch against Point Park on Wednesday. Clarion's softball team, like the baseball team, continues to struggle this season as well. The Golden Eagles are still searching for their first conference win of the season. Overall, they have a record of 3-13. They were swept by both Bloomsburg and East Stroudsburg in heartbreaking fashions. The good news for the softball team, though, is that they have a big-time star in senior Amanda Goff. Goff is batting an amazing .457 with 10 RBIs and 7 doubles. Her batting average currently stands second in the PSAC. The softball team will try to grab their first PSAC win against Slippery Rock on Wednesday. It was an absolutely amazing Masters tournament in Augusta last weekend that had an ending unlike any other. We started at 18 with Adam Scott, 25 feet away, sinks the birdie. He thinks this is going to give him the win. Well, Angel Cabrera says, you know what, we will continue to play in the rain. Hits one of the shots of the tournament, puts that ball only a few feet from the hole. He would birdie this hole to send the Masters into overtime. You see Adam Scott here from the clubhouse. Can't believe what he's seeing. Now Angel Cabrera for the win in overtime, and he finishes just that close. Only an inch away from the hole. Adam Scott trying to become the first Australian to win the Masters, and he does. With a great putt down the stretch in overtime, he will become the first Australian to win the green jacket. Angel Cabrera impressed, gives Scott the win. In other news, Tiger Woods finished fourth in this tournament after a 2-stroke penalty on Saturday. And Adam Scott gets a hug here from his dad, congratulating him on a great tournament played. Adam Scott had a comeback, and he did in fantastic fashion. Adam Scott, winner of the 2013 Masters Tournament. That's all we have here in sports. Let's send it back to the news desk.
So, Ian, that was an amazing tournament at the Masters.
It was fantastic. And you know what? Tiger Woods, I think because of that 2-stroke penalty, it really knocked him out, which is unfortunate because he was playing one of the best tournaments of golf I've ever seen. He was making shots where I was sitting on my couch going, did he seriously just do that? So, a fantastic tournament. I'm not a big golf watcher, but I had a lot of fun watching.
I'm not a big fan of golf either.
You had to enjoy this one. It was great.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ian. 2 people are dead and dozens hurt following explosions at the Boston Marathon. As we've reported, 2 blasts went off at about 2:50 this afternoon. Listen to this witness describe what he saw.
It was just on the other side of the finish line. The explosion looked like it was right outside the Marathon Sports, right by the finish line there, or the building next to it. I was over there like literally 2 minutes before. I walked down a little bit and heard 2 big explosions, large plumes of dust, smoke, glass. Obviously everybody was going crazy. At first it almost sounded like a cannon blast, but it felt so strong it literally almost blew my hat off. And everybody started running the other way. There were a few people that were running over towards them to help out the injured, and there were some really bad injuries. Some people were very, very badly hurt. It was just on the other.
This man shot himself to death during a NASCAR race at Texas Motor Speedway Saturday. The medical examiner's office have ruled it a suicide. Authorities say the 42-year-old man was at an infield campground when he shot himself. His body was found in the back seat of a truck with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Authorities say the man reportedly got into an argument with some campers, and alcohol may have been a factor in his death. The NRA 500 was sponsored by the National Rifle Association.
Relatives of some 9/11 victims are taking issue with a new fee associated with the September 11th Memorial and Museum in Lower Manhattan at the site of Ground Zero. People who make a reservation online or by phone now have to pay a $2 service fee to reserve a pass. The fee went into effect last month. The memorial is still free for people who show up for the same-day passes that are given out at the memorial preview site on a first-come, first-served basis. Families of the 9/11 victims do not have to pay the reservation fee. Reaction to the fee is mixed.
Today, Secretary of State John Kerry heads home after a 3-day trip to South Korea, China, and Japan. The goal of this trip was to ensure commitments from these countries to keep North Korea from pursuing its nuclear goals. Andrew Spencer has the details.
Secretary of State John Kerry spent the past 3 days meeting with leaders in Seoul, Beijing, and Tokyo, bolstering relationships in the wake of North Korea's threats.
North's dangerous nuclear missile program threatens not only North Korea's neighbors, but it threatens its own people. And it threatens this concept of a Pacific dream.
In addition to keeping North Korea from creating nuclear weapons, Kerry hopes these neighboring countries will get Pyongyang back to the negotiating table.
The United States remains open to authentic and credible negotiations on denuclearization, but the burden is on Pyongyang.
Last month, North Korea scrapped the 1953 truce that ended the Korean War and declared it was nullifying the joint agreement on the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. In an interview, Kerry elaborated, saying this action has wide-reaching consequences.
What happens here also has an impact on perceptions in places like Iran, the Middle East, and elsewhere where we are engaged in non-proliferation efforts.
Though North Korea seemed disinterested in dialogue, it was watching and released a statement calling Kerry's speech empty words without content. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
An ice cream eating groundhog, a couple of scary Canadian geese, and a python wrestling tour guide. The video that will have you talking is next, and take a look at this.
Take a look at this. Eat your heart out, Punxsutawney Phil. This groundhog didn't have to look for a shadow to get a tasty treat. It's his birthday, and like most of us, his owner thought he would like to kick back with a little ice cream. When a couple of Canadian geese flew into the gorilla enclosure at the Sedgwick County Zoo in Kansas, the gorilla-to-goose confrontation was not what zookeepers expected. When a huge silverback gorilla drew nearer for a closer look, the fearless fowl sent him running in the opposite direction. The geese must have been channeling their inner King Kong. Patrons on a boat tour of the Everglades in Florida got a little extra for their money when their tour guide jumped out of the boat and started wrestling a 10-foot python.
I didn't even realize it was 10 feet. I thought it was definitely over 6 feet, definitely bigger than me. Didn't realize it was 3 times the size of my own arm.
Tour guide Tommy Owen said he decided to go in after the massive snake because it didn't belong in the swamp.
I had to make sure I caught that one because that's just one less out there, one less eating native species.
Once Owen got a hold of the snake, his guide partner killed it. And as for the family, they got a great story to tell.
That was a highlight of their life, or of their vacation for sure.
For Take a Look at This, I'm April Williams.
So Priya, what would you do if all of a sudden you were on a tour and your tour guide just jumps off and starts wrestling a python?
I would panic. I don't know what I would do because it's just so crazy.
Oh my gosh, 10 feet, could you imagine?
No.
That's like almost 2 of me. That's so crazy. I can't even imagine. All right, well that's the news for tonight. Britt Seahall and Matt Knaler will be here tomorrow night with the latest in news, weather, and sports.
And don't forget to tune in to CUTV every weeknight at 6:30.
For Lauren Healy, Ian Hunter, and everyone here at CUTV News, I'm Bryn Buchner.
And I'm Priya Royster. Don't go away. Sports Night is up next.